Like Steve McQueen, I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines and, most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you guys can do with all of this information. At the end of the day, you guys, we're always about progress and education and moving this industry forward here, you guys. Everybody who comes on the show is a transportation professional because we want to put out information that you can apply, utilize, and see a meaningful difference in your business and life. It's one of the main reasons why I proudly fly this American flag behind me every single day. Is not only is this the greatest nation on earth, but I'm living my American dream, and I want to help each and every one of you guys live your American dream as well. I got some special guests. Yes, that's plural. And we're going to talk about what's up with the safe. What is this safe that was just flooding everyone's feed on LinkedIn yesterday? And I got the scoop on what it is. And for all of those who DM'd me last night asking what it is, I said, no, I am not going to tell you about that. You got to show up and come on the show and tune in to find out what it is. But before we do that, got to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub. You guys, vhubapp.com. Whether you're a broker, carrier, or a shipper, we all need access to trailers at some point in time. The best part about what they have, you guys, if you're a small fleet, if you're like my man, Dennis Bear Everett out there, and you're a one truck operation, you should never have to shut your operation down because your trailer's in the shop. And the best part, you guys, you get paid to do this. So with what they're working on right now, Glade Spring, Virginia, going to Delta, British Columbia, you get paid $18.50 to move that. That's on top of the revenue you can get by loading this trailer out. They also have West Valley City, Utah, going up to Calgary, Alberta. You get $15.50 to do that. And then they finally have Paragould, Arkansas to Orting, Washington, $15.50 to do that, you guys. So hit them up, vhubapp.com. My friend Xavier Campos and my friend Stacy Steen, they'll be in the audience. Just do me a favor. Let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. All right. The comments are coming in. Dennis Bear Everett's in the audience. Trey Griggs, what's up, my man? LinkedIn user says, good fucking morning. Stephen Title, good morning. Must be time for the news. Be safe. LOL. That's funny. Diana Guzman. Oh, come on, Diana. You're just here for the safe? All right. Well, I'll let that slide. Louie, what's up, my brother? Thank you for joining in. All right, I'm going to bring him on right now. Let's do it. I got my man Gabe in Tessany here from Rocket Shipping. I got to ask, all right? Jason Raymond, he says, let's go. What is this safe? Why was I asked to post this safe? Why my DMs flooded with what's with the safe?
Well, we wanted to raise a bit of interest and have a bit of a fever pitch and to explain what's in the safe. There's nothing specifically in the safe, but it's what is the safe doing and what are we doing with it at Rocket Shipping. And the story goes, one of our mission and visions here at Rocket Shipping is to impact as many people and communities as we can. And we were, talking this fall about how we can donate and how we can impact the Fargo community and what causes mattered most to us. And we decided that we had found a nonprofit we wanted to support. And so then it was time to get creative on how we could raise funds and awareness for a mission that is close to our heart. And our VP of Marketing, Troy, had the idea, what if we did a Pay It Forward campaign and we called it Pay It Freight Forward? And we have a bunch of e-commerce clients who ship multiple different items, and we landed on a gun safe being shipped from client to client, from warehouse to warehouse on a pledge drive. And so the premise is our first client, Dean Safe, they are going to ship a stealth safe for us. They've palletized it, and Tessny's going to give some details about where we're donating and what group it's going to go to. But the premise is that we're going to send this safe and we're going to have a tracker in it from Tive, and we're going to watch it go across the U.S. and raise money. Inside the safe, we're going to be able to see. Hey, Tessny, do you want to mute that quick?
Yeah.
I'll just mute it until I introduce you then.
Okay, sounds good.
So we're going to send the safe from one client to the next. And inside the safe, there's going to be a QR code. And the companies are going to be able to see what the past company donated. And also, it's going to be a landing page explaining our mission and where we're going to send this money. The reason we're also doing this, and we're going to be doing it on human sex trafficking and underage trafficking, that's going to be the mission. The group's name is Unseen, and Tessney's about to explain what that is. It's also near and dear to the logistics industry. And so the reason we kind of dripped it out on LinkedIn and got everybody involved is because we're going to have a way for anybody on LinkedIn, the logistics community, to match donations, to donate on their own. And we're going to be working with a couple of organizations that will announce that have something to do with trafficking and trucking as well. And so that's what we're doing. That's what we're announcing. And Tess, did you want to kind of, oh, I forgot one more detail, Chris, the timing. And it's very important. So we started it now and we're ending it the second weekend in February. And if you saw on the LinkedIn post yesterday, there's a bunch of footballs being, the emoji was a football. That was the whole comment thread. And we did that because it's a little known fact and people don't talk about it much because of the, circumstances surrounding it. But the Super Bowl is the #1 largest event each year that has the highest number of people arrested for sex trafficking, underage trafficking, and also the number of sting operations that go into it. And it's not talked about, mostly because the city who is sponsoring the Super Bowl doesn't want to talk about that issue. We're here to raise awareness about trafficking in general, but specifically for the Super Bowl. So the last stop will be at one of our clients, and it's going to be in Las Vegas, the last stop right before the Super Bowl. And we're going to see how much we can raise before then. Our goal is to raise $100,000 for our nonprofit in Fargo called Unseen. So, Tessney, if you want to talk a little bit about Unseen and where that money is going to be going.
Oh, you're on.
You're still muted, Tess.
Oh, there we go. We're good now.
Thank you. Thanks. Absolutely. So today there are more than 50 million people that are trapped in modern slavery and human trafficking. And sadly enough, it's been at a 26% increase since 2016. And these people are forced to work against their will or be in a marriage that they're forced into. And so how Unseen originally had started was the co-founder, Than, witnessed human trafficking firsthand back in 2012. He was in Thailand filming some content and interviewing these two girls who were approximately 6 and 8 years old. And as they shared their story, they had shared that their mom owed a $300 debt to a man in Bangkok. And these two girls and their toddler siblings were the collateral. And the mom was not able to pay that debt. And what they had found out was that the man was on his way to take the children and bring them to a brothel. And if there wasn't a partner there that was able to step in and risk their own lives to intervene, those 4 children would be living in sexual slavery somewhere. And unfortunately, these similar situations are happening right now where vulnerable people are being exploited and assaulted. And this industry, a sick industry, generates more than $150 billion each year. Human trafficking is a highly networked, highly funded industry. And so where Unseen is trying to make these partnerships that they have formed with these people who are fighting trafficking seen. And what they've identified is that funding is the main cause that's causing them to be unseen or to continue to make a larger impact and get more of these people out of human trafficking. So our goal is to help Unseen raise funds. And so with every $1,000 that Unseen is given within donations, helps these organizations raise equivalent of $3,600. So they actually have a 363% ROI on these donations. So the 100,000 mark that we're at would just be life-changing for so many of these organizations with Unseen. So
yeah, that's fantastic. And Steven, it is actually, they did say it is ending here in Arizona with the Super Bowl being here. It's the last stop in Las Vegas is before Arizona is what Gabe was referring to there.
Yep. It is going to end in Arizona. Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, it's, because I had Truckers Against Trafficking on my podcast last year, and I put you in contact with them, Gabe, because it is this is the thing that is not talked about, when it comes, and then it's the unreported portion of all of this stuff. And again, it's you're talking about the amount of people that are affected by this it's absolutely insane. It's insane that it goes on today. And
yeah. And the fact that Tess brought it up, like it's already bad, but then like when you say 50 million people are in modern day slavery, it's not just underage girls or boys. Like they get trapped in the system. They start them at underage, but then they're adults. And so there's a lot of controversy and debate over like, well, you know, they're adults and the, you know, sex working trade, but they get started and trafficked as kids and then they can never leave.
Groomed.
And so they're groomed. And then the other part that was really, you know, to kind of emphasize is that Unseen is a Fargo, North Dakota organization. And so they're right in our backyard here, but they're making impacts. Like they don't do it all themselves. They really donate to all of the other organizations. So they're just a force multiplier, but they do, you know, some incredible work. And so in the safe too, when we're shipping these things, we're shipping information about Unseen and a video about it. So people will be able to see it. And to kind of wrap it up, the one thing that I thought about when we were talking as a leadership group about how we could donate money and how we could make an impact is, you know, the reason I chose LinkedIn as the foyer for it is that like LinkedIn for us is how we're growing our brand, and it's a force multiplier on so many. And yesterday you saw it, obviously all the safes on there. We only have like 10 people or 12 people that posted, but the reach is so far and wide that I think if we do this right and we, you know, we raise awareness about it and we have people like you, Chris, that are helping us out, they're like, really, we're only 1 or 2 connections away from some of the most important people that work in ending human trafficking, like Ashton Kutcher and them. On LinkedIn, you're only 2 connections away from anybody. So I'm excited to see what we can do.
No, absolutely. And then I'll put it out there right now. I'll start and put a pledge of $250 in there, like right now. So send over the information. Let's get the ball rolling on this. And let's again, you guys collectively coming together as an industry, because I think a lot of hot button issues, a lot of things out there in the world, you're always like, what can I do as an individual? And $1 helps. Even you sharing posts, if you can't donate money for whatever reason, putting that information out there, you guys, and in getting that reach, because social media is a powerful tool. It is a very powerful tool, and you can get a lot of information out there in front of a lot of people, and especially the right causes too. You know, you guys, because it's like as all of that comes up, you know, there's so many scams that are out there for this stuff. You guys be like, this is a legitimate organization. It's just like what I put out there this morning in regards to the Make-A-Wish Foundation and my nephew and everything as well. And we're going that, like, look at this. Jason Raybon just said he'll match that. So that's $500. Trey says he'll match it as well. That's $750.
Thank you.
Look at the power of that. 3 people making a difference right away. So
and that's the thing, is that's all it takes, you guys, is sharing the post and getting it out there in front of people. You know, people have already dropped in donations for my nephew's cause at the Make-A-Wish Foundation as well for that, because you guys, that's what it is. And you know, Stephen Title, he just said he'll match that as well.
$1,000 raised already. $1,000 is really $3,600.
Yeah,
we're gonna force multiply that. We'll have a GoFundMe link. It might not be GoFundMe, but it's a very similar company. If not, and we'll have that link and we'll get it shared out right away today.
Yeah, send it out as soon as you guys can so we can get it out there. Gabe, text it to me if you have to, and I'll transfer the money today if whatever it is. You know, we'll get it done, and we'll get this up and running. Tessany, how can anybody reach out to you specifically if they have any questions about this? Anybody who listens to this on the replay or anything like that?
Absolutely. Well, I'm on LinkedIn, so definitely reach out. Testany Steak on there. And then also an email always works great as well. So testany@gorocketshipping.com. And we're happy to get in touch with you and share all the information. And yeah, this is something that we're super passionate about. And we're going to be sharing so much more powerful information and stories about Unseen and the 42 countries that they're working in right now. So looking forward to share more of that.
I love it. Sonny Sharma with Zems Inc. He says he's going to match that. So that's $1,250. Diana is looking for the, she's waiting for the donation link right there. So
awesome.
Look at that. Hey, all of 6 seconds.
I did want to put out there, Tessany is about 48 hours from having her first baby. And so I
that too.
I'm available on LinkedIn as well. So if you're connected with me, if you're not, you can send me a message. I'll be monitoring it. We will check Tessany's inbox in case she does go into labor any minute now. But she is going to be the spearhead of this. And we've got a whole team of 5 people that are monitoring this and are going to be making sure that we execute and we do what we can.
Perfect. And then again, you guys, and same thing, reach out to me too if you don't know how to get a hold of Gabe or Tessany either. I'll put you in contact with them, and we'll get a way to get all of this information out here to make sure that we can represent all of this.
Awesome. Chris, man, you're the man for putting us on the air for this.
Yes, thank you so much.
It's already 12:50 and then some. So
yeah, this is the least that you can do in these instances, because again, you guys, like collectively, we got to come together. Like the individual reach is so much more than we ever give it credit for, and just that little bit like that, you guys this can literally just think that this might save 2 or 3 children.
That's stories too. And we're going to share those stories next. Like you're going to see it on our social media. So keep an eye on that, everybody. But like there's real stories of this amount of dollars means that this village can now have this service. And this village has 27 girls and boys being trafficked. And so like they have like a record keeping yearbook and they share every story. It's really impactful. And so I think that's important too. When you're donating money, to be able to see the impact of it is important for the person donating, but also I think it's a feedback loop. You're more apt to tell somebody else the impact you made and then make a bigger impact.
Absolutely. Chris, I'd love to share just even their 2022 annual report, which is amazing to give statistics that we could definitely share in the comments for people to take a peek and look at. And I being new to the logistics industry, I have to say this is an amazing group of people in community that are very passionate about what they do, but then also just the way that the camaraderie that I've seen with everyone and how welcoming everyone is, and how passionate everyone is about just making the world a better place and the industry. So I think so much of you who do tune in and are really willing to jump in and help make a difference and an impact all around. So thank you so much for having us too.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining today, Stephanie, and go have your baby. Go enjoy that time. And
Christmas baby. So we'll see when they're ready to come.
Well, perfect, Tessany. I appreciate you joining in and sharing all this information. Enjoy. Have a Merry Christmas, okay?
Thank you. You as well.
Thanks, Tess.
Gabe, I love it, man. I love what you're doing with this. I love taking that spearhead. Because, I mean, dude, at the end of the day, like, to me, like, that's what, and we might not even get to any of the articles. So if you're here to watch the articles or hearing it, we might not even get to that. But, to me, like, that's been the greatest thing about entrepreneurship. Because I was talking to a buddy yesterday. I was interviewing him for my podcast and we were done and we were talking about a lot of things. And I was like, man, you know what the best feeling is about this year is the first year that I'm ever able to donate money. Yeah. Like, I'm actually in a position where I'm able to donate money, and it's because of capitalism. It's because of the opportunity to do this, and I can give back so much more. That's like the most rewarding thing for anything, because to me, man, like that's what it's all about, is the value exchange and putting this information out there and the right information out there for people to digest and change their lives with. Because at the end of the day, we're all blessed with unique abilities and we need to use that for the greater good. And just imagine how empowered we could be as an industry or society if people actually like live by those principles, man.
Yeah. And I do think it's important too, like when we sat down and we said, how could we make a bigger impact, is, this year I was able to donate some personal funds and Rocky was able to donate to a few different causes and bless our employees. And that's awesome. It was a good year for us and we expect to have another one, but being able to spearhead something like this, like I didn't realize how much work this was going to be. We had to make landing pages and payment links and social media, but I do think just taking that action, it's going to encourage others to say, hey, we can do something with this. And I'll tease this out a bit. I'm going to be calling out some logistics leaders and asking them to match donations, their companies that are big in the space, and put some of the weight into it and see what they can do. But yeah, I mean, this was not necessarily my idea. Troy thought of the safe, and Tessany thought of the unseen, and she had a connection there. And so my goal is just to use whatever effort I can in my team to bring it forward and execute.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about. But again, it's like, it's going to pale in comparison, because like, just like in building up your business, Gabe, the first go around is always the hardest. Then you're going to have the systems and the development in place. And now the next one, when you guys do the
pay freight forward, is going to be every year now. So
and that's the thing. The system's already in place. The infrastructure's already in place. And now it's just the execution phase of it. And, again, it's like, you guys, because it's always what can I do? If you're looking at your social media presence right now, or if you're looking at, I only have 500 people in my network, or I only have 1,000 people in my network. But just imagine if 5-10 other of those people who see you post that and share that stuff out, how quick that goes. And now that gets out, and that trickle down
Yeah.
effect, you guys, it's massive to get this reach out there, because to me, it's just not, don't discredit what the individual can actually accomplish. You know, if you can't donate money, how can you donate time? You know, like this last weekend, I went out to Wreaths Across America here in Chandler and hung wreaths on headstones for our deceased veterans. And doing that, you know, again, it was an hour of your time on a Saturday morning. If you don't have the money, I get it. You know, I've been in tough times too. I've had my back against the wall multiple times in my adult life, but you always have time to get back. You can always just spread that message and put that out there.
Yeah. And I think too, a way to donate time would be, you know, to raise awareness. So like when you go home and you're at Christmas with your family, bring up the fact that the Super Bowl is the #1 human trafficking event of the year. People don't talk about that because it's Super Bowl, but you know, they use, we're going to share a lot of stories, but they use Navy SEALs and they use SWAT teams like to try to catch all of these high powered players in one spot. And when it was in Minneapolis a few years back, I think 2018, in Minnesota here where I live, like no one was talking about it in the national news, but the local news was talking about it. And they're like, here's how to prepare and here's what to watch for and the warning signs of trafficking. And so, and then I think the other thread too that I didn't pull on as hard is that trafficking and trucking has always been and will be an issue. And I think if we can partner with, you know, a couple of the organizations, Chris, that you connected us with, like, I think we're going to make a big impact there too with those dollars.
No, you know, exactly. And it's always, you just have to start, you know, you just have to start. There is no playbook for any of this stuff, you guys. If there's a cause, because again, it doesn't have, like, whatever causes that you're passionate about, put that out there and that effort, and just continuously show up. You know, like it's the getting the ball rolling is always the hardest part, but the more and more you talk about it, the more and more people, you know, for me, man, I'll do anything to help people in need. Like that's all I want to do is help people with my life. Like
that's why I thought of you first, Chris. I did say, who do I know that would help with this? And that's how you always have come off in your brand and in your shows. And so I knew you'd help.
No, I appreciate that. And because to me, like that's it to me. Like, man, because like I've been in those situations, you know, in my past where it's like, you know, sometimes you just need one person to say something and then it just can change the trajectory of your life. And $1 donation, what that can do, because, you know, again, it's like, don't ever discredit and don't ever think that there aren't people who are willing to help. I think because dude, I'm convinced 90% of Americans, like that's almost our biggest fault, is we want to help so much. You know, like, but it's a great thing is we want to help, and your community is where you start, you know, like you said, at Christmas coming up this weekend, talk about it with 3 or 4 other people.
And then there's awareness right there. Word of mouth, the old fashioned way.
Dude, the old fashioned way of having a conversation. Trey said, Jason Rabine and I are working on raising money for a charity in the upcoming Word on the Street Tough Mudder Challenge here in St. Louis. And he wants
good stuff.
No, dude. Yeah. Any charity, any way to give back, you know, and like, that's like, to me, as the brands grow and the businesses grow for me, man, like that's the one thing I'm looking forward to the most, is being able to give back in that regard. And, you know, there's just not a better feeling, honestly. And it's like, it's almost more motivating for you to continue to work harder is when you can see the effects of positivity of what can come by, you know, you donating.
I think as a business owner, I get that effect more, like it's like a dopamine hit more often because of hiring new people and impacting new people each time. And then at Christmas time, like being able to give bonuses that then they give to others. And it's like a network effect. It's really cool. This was like my favorite Christmas because of that. So
yeah, dude. And that's the thing, man, is it's like putting that energy, that energy out there. Like I'm a big believer in the, you know, the universe and however you want to throw it out there, but putting that out there, man, is only going to attract, like, positivity attracts positivity. I think we all know that if you want to find negativity in this world, you can fucking find it anywhere.
Yeah, you don't have to look far.
Pull up any mainstream media website right now. You can find all the negativity you want, but you know, again, we have to push the positive messages out there, because collectively as an industry, we can literally make a massive difference in any charitable causes. It's, you know, it's not just trafficking. There's a lot of stuff out there that needs to be, you know, well funded. And if it wasn't for people doing this, like it would never be achieved. And you know, for me, it's just like, I don't know, man. That's just what it's all about. for me.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing that matters, is taking care of the people who can't take care of themselves, and who are
I think
in
we
the,
talk about it more at this time of year because of the season and Christmas season, and people think about that more. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to start it now instead of end it now, is that there's a lot of causes to give to right now. And that's why we're going to end it in February instead. So
yeah. And just, again, embody the change that you want. If you're whatever it is, start on you. Like, I think like that's one of the biggest things that, because over these last couple of years, like that's been the biggest personal journey, is the self-reflection of why I needed to start with me. If I wanted to change, I needed to change, and it's just like, there's never a better time to start than right now. Like, don't discredit, like, cause again, they're like, and that's kind of like been the messaging that I've been putting out there over the last couple of weeks. Like, shit just doesn't magically start January 1st.
no,
It doesn't. And that's just like such a farce that's out there of, I'm going to, because again, like I've been in that situation, like, I'm going to get healthy on January 1st. So what do I do for the last 3 weeks of December? I drank every day and fucking ate like shit every day. Cause I'm like, January 1st is when I'm going to start. So I
got to binge before. Yeah,
exactly. But then it never amounted to anything. It was when I had that hard conversation with myself in the mirror and said, motherfucker, if you want change, you better fucking start right now, or else you're going to be in this exact same position in 12 months from now.
That's Andy Frisella, Ed Milet right there.
It is. Well, I mean, I'm a member. I'm in the Arate syndicate.
Yeah, there you go.
Group. But like, then again, like from a content perspective, man, like I got started doing all of this stuff off of their free content, off of their free stuff. I found, my friend Brent Orsugas shared Andy's podcast with me in early of 2020. And he's like, hey, listen to this. And then that introduced me to Ed. And I literally listened to everything, or I listened to all of their episodes. I went back, because like when you're starting out doing, like, you got a lot of fucking free time and starting a business.
Yeah. That's
so I listened and consumed so much, and I applied all of their free stuff. And that's what got me to right there. And then I was like, man, but then again, it's not just like, there's so much free information out there and great information out there that you can apply. And it doesn't cost you anything. Again, it's just like, to tie in all of this today, if you can't donate, you can donate your time. It doesn't have to cost you anything. And there's a lot of
somebody that you think will donate, take a company, you're connected with a CEO somewhere who that's donating time too. I think that, again, we're kind of harping on it, but the LinkedIn effect is real. And if you literally are just one or two connections, you can look up pretty much any CEO or any leader and say third plus or second plus on connection, and somebody who knows them. That means that's the LinkedIn effect.
Yeah, it is, you guys. It is. And, again, as always with all of my stuff, you guys, my network is everybody's network. If there's somebody in my network that, because of this you want to talk to, sure, don't send me a shitty sales DM about how, I want to talk to this person that you're connected. Not that. I'm talking about the right things.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about. That's what the Freight Coach Network is it's our network. It's our network to improve not just our industry, but society as a whole, and make this industry and this world a better place for when we all punch out here one day. But Gabe, how can we didn't get to any articles, you guys? That's fine. Like, you guys didn't want to hear about tonnage.
Hey, there's GRIs going up and it doesn't make sense. And LTL tonnage was up year over year, but down month over month, and people are kind of panicking in LTL. That's the summary of that article.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of did just sum it up right there. We would have harped on it a little bit more, but
yeah.
Well, so as in the conclusion here, you guys know what is in the box, the safe.
Yeah.
You guys know. Gabe, again, put that out there one more time. How can anybody find out more about it? How does anybody reach out to you?
It's going to be all over my LinkedIn for the next several weeks, and we're going to be hyping it up. The rocket shipping team, this is our main initiative. We're going to try to break LinkedIn with this thing. And so if you're following any of us, you'll see it, but DM me. I have my inbox open, so you can send me a message without the LinkedIn premium. Send me a connection too, but I'll be watching that, and then my team will coordinate it, but you can go through me at the top of funnel, and I'll make sure that we get it taken care of. If you're looking to donate, I actually think that you can make a huge impact if you know somebody at a company that can donate some big dollars too. So if you want to connect me with somebody, that, hey, it's end of year, or we want to support this, and they've been looking for a partner to support, this would be that opportunity, and that could make a really big impact if you don't want to give financially.
Hell yeah. That's what's up, you guys. Well, that's it for today, you guys, the Freight Coach Morning Show. And as always, if you guys saw value in what we talk about, share the show. That's how this is growing. That's how we are the top transportation podcast in this industry, is because of each and every one of you who take the time to share the show. Because at the end of the day, you guys, if you guys see value in it, your network's going to see value in it as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. We'll be back tomorrow and Friday because we ain't fucking stopping. We'll talk to you soon.